Hey y'all, let's talk about some ways my family, wasted money on our European trip and some ways we saved money on our European trip. So that maybe you don't waste money this way or you can save money this way. I can think of 3 ways that we wasted money when we were planning. No, let me take responsibility. I can think of 3 ways that I wasted money when I was planning our family trip to Europe. And I think my husband would take responsibility as well because he says I did most of the planning, which is true because he had never been before. Of course, I haven't been in 30 years. Okay, first way that was a huge money waster was shoes. I watched so many YouTube videos saying, oh, Europeans don't wear athletic shoes. You know what? Nobody gives a hoot what's on your feet. I will show you some video I took in the British Museum. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at your feet. So stop worrying about what you're wearing on your feet. Nobody's looking. There are so many tourists all across Europe. Buy some shoes that are comfortable and wear them, okay? So that was my first money waster. I should have just worn the tennis shoes I had. Now I did get a nice pair of Tevas that I absolutely love and will wear to death. And I think that's going to be my new favorite pair of shoes. Well, it already is my new favorite pair of shoes. Another way that I think we wasted money is I bought my husband and both my boys each 3 wool shirts, merino wool shirts. And these t-shirts are not inexpensive. The least expensive ones that I could find were $45 each. And if you think about that, that's $135 per person. Now my husband still wears all of his, so that was a good buy. My youngest son, I don't think he's worn them once. He hated them, they're itchy to him. It was not a good choice. I should have returned his. And I bought them for good reason because I made everybody pack in carry-on bags and we were just doing laundry every few days. So I knew that those shirts would last and not be stinky. Because you know, boys can be stinky. But I should have just understood that my youngest son wasn't going to wear them and returned them. I could have saved myself $135. Third way that I wasted money is on Eurail passes. So last time, let me tell you a story. Last time I went to Europe, no, not last time I went to Europe. I went to Europe in college to study abroad. But before that, the previous time that I went to Europe, I was backpacking with my best friend. This was an 80s thing for those of you that are Gen X like me. People would graduate from high school and then go on a backpacking trip through Europe. So my best friend and I backpacked for 6 weeks through Europe and we bought Eurail passes. And so this time, even though we had a set number of cities that we were going to and set number of places we were going to, I was concerned that we might want to take a day trip here or go there, not thinking about the fact that we already had 5 cities in 18 days to cover, and that's a lot of travel. That's travel like once every 4 days or so, or more. So the unlimited Eurail pass was not the best choice for us. There is a chooser on the Eurail pass site, and I would suggest you use it. If you have a set itinerary, just buy those train passes. I think there's a question and answer that you can go through on the site, and that is the best thing to do because I would not buy us unlimited passes again, unless my husband and I decide to go without a set itinerary, and then I would buy the passes. So those are the ways that are the big ways I think that we wasted money, and that probably added up to, oh gosh, I would say close to $1,000 total that was wasted. Now, on the other hand, there are some ways that we saved money when I was planning this European trip. And the first way that I think that we saved a ton of money is I made sure all of us took reusable bottles. All of us took reusable bottles and we were able to fill them up with water wherever we were that didn't cost. We did not have to go and buy a bottle of water at a time. We would check into a hotel, we would go to a grocery store and buy a big 2-liter jug or 4-liter jug of water, and that we could refill our bottles every day with that. So I would definitely suggest that you take reusable bottles with you. Now, here's a tip. When we were getting on the airline in Frankfurt, this is a funny story. We were getting on the airline in Frankfurt, and my husband was trying to guzzle the last of his water. And we happened to be at the ticket counter checking our luggage. And the woman who was checking our luggage said, "No, you don't have to do that." And I said, "Well, he can't take the water through security." And she said, "I don't know why not." And so I thought, oh, well, maybe it's just an American thing. No, it's not just an American thing. We got to security and they made him chug the rest of his water. So no, make sure your water bottle is empty when you come back home, because it's the same thing as it is in the United States. The water bottle has to be empty. But buying water is a big money saver, as is buying energy bars for snacks during the day, but I know everybody knows that. The last way that I think we saved money, because we were a family of 4 that have 2 adult children, I think one of the best ways that, sorry, I'm getting a cold. One of the best ways that we saved money was using Airbnb or rentals. I won't say Airbnb, specifically the company, but by renting apartments, because we were able to stay in places that had more room, that had some place to cook. So if we wanted to cook breakfast and just eat a big late lunch, early dinner, which is kind of what we did most of the time, that saved us money on food. And food is a big expense when you've got 2 20-year-old boys with you. Those of you that are raising boys, give me an amen. Because you know what it's like. I have a good friend who has 3 girls that are just slightly older than my 2 boys. And the whole time that we were raising kids together, she would tell me about a wonderful recipe that she found, and she'd say, "Oh, and we have so many leftovers," and I would cook the recipe in the next week, and poof, it was all gone. So if you're raising boys, you know that, yeah, they eat way more than girls do. So thanks for sticking around. Those are some money saving tips that I have and some money losses that I had. But I hope that if you are planning a European vacation, that it helps you with a couple tips. Please don't worry about how you look. Everybody looks different there, and nobody's looking at you. Everybody's looking at the wonderful history and buildings and taking wonderful tours and having awesome experiences. So don't worry. It's going to be fabulous. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.